Hey guys, welcome back to another Chit Chat with Cass. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season and Happy New Year, of course. So to kick off the new year, I thought we might look forward to the rest of 2019 and kind of chat about some of the movies that are coming out this year. As you probably know, I am a huge movie lover, and there are some movies that I am definitely looking forward to this year, and there's some that I have to question why. So I am pretty picky about what movies I go to see in theater lately, and to be honest, I actually hate going to the movie theater these days, so it's kind of hit or miss which ones I will actually see in theater, but there are some on this list that I want to see in theater for sure, and I will eventually see the others at some point. So without further ado, here are some popular movies that are going to be released this year. We have Glass, that is coming out January 18th. It is a superhero thriller directed by M. Night Shyamalan. It is a sequel to Unbreakable and Split. So this is starring Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson and James McAvoy. Security guard David Dunn uses his supernatural abilities to track Kevin Wendell Crumb, a disturbed man who has 24 personalities. So I have only seen Split, and I did enjoy that movie. I have not seen Unbreakable, but I do hear good things about it. And this is like the third movie in the series, really. I need to see the first one as well if I want to see this. Sarah Paulson is also in the movie, and I love her. I don't think I will see this one in theater just because I do need to catch up with the whole series. I wasn't even aware that Split was part of this series or this world that he had created when I saw that film, but I will probably see it eventually, as like a home movie on demand, Netflix, something like that for me. But I do want to see it at some point. Then we have What Men Want. That's coming out February 8th. A woman is boxed out by the male sports agents in her profession, but gains an unexpected edge over them when she develops the ability to hear their thoughts. So this is a remake or a sequel to What Women Want with Mel Gibson, right? I guess we'll see if there's like any tiebacks or cameos within this movie to the original. This looks okay. I doubt that I will see it in theater, but I might catch it on demand or Netflix eventually. It looks like probably a funny chick flick. It's just not towards the top of my list to see. Captain Marvel comes out March 8th. It's the next Marvel movie, of course. Carol Danvers becomes one of the universe's most powerful heroes when Earth is caught in the middle of a galactic war between two alien races, starring Brie Larson. So being as I like superhero movies, I am very interested in this one, and I think it looks really good, but I do know barely anything about this character. I'm more of a DC person. I know more of the backstories with DC than I do Marvel, so this will be a very new character to me. The storyline will be new. I do hope to see this in theaters because I do think it looks good, but that's going to kind of depend on my schedule and my fun anxiety about going to movie theaters these days. Us comes out March 15th. A mother and father take their kids to their beach house expecting to enjoy time with friends, but their serenity turns to tension and chaos when some visitors arrive uninvited. Lupita Nyong'o is in this. I love her, so I definitely want to see this. And this is directed by Jordan Peele. He did the movie Get Out, which is a really good thriller movie if you haven't seen it. And, being a fan of Lupita, I really want to see what this movie is all about. It might not be a theater one, kind of depending on if someone wants to go see it with me or not, but I definitely will see it at some point. Dumbo comes out March 29th. A young elephant whose oversized ears enable him to fly helps save a struggling circus, but when the circus plans a new venture, Dumbo and his friends discover dark secrets beneath its shiny veneer. Eva Green, Colin Farrell, Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito. Can you tell that this is a Tim Burton movie? He uses the same people a lot. So I watched this movie as a child, obviously the animated version, but as an adult, the only part I can remember from this is when they lock the mom up. And I don't want to cry over that again. That scene was horrible. So I'm not sure when I'll see this, or if I will see this, honestly. I mean, maybe at some point. And Disney really is on a kick of remaking the animated movies because this year alone, I believe we have 3 coming out. Shazam comes out April 5th. We all have superhero inside us. It just takes a bit of magic to bring it out. In Billy Batson's case, by shouting out one word, Shazam. This streetwise 14-year-old foster kid can turn into the adult superhero Shazam, starring Zachary Levi. So this movie looks interesting to me because it's like a comedy movie in the DC world. that shit doesn't happen. But I will say this because it loops in with the other DC movie world that they have created, but I'm not sure if this will be a theater one for me. I also don't know much about Shazam. I mean, I know like the basics, but not really highly detailed. Like, considering I'm more of like a DC fan, I don't know much about him. And at the same time, what is up with the costume? Like, how is he gonna fit in with the rest of them? You know, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Batman, all that. How is he Cyborg? How is he gonna, like, oh, I can't even with the costume. The costume is horrible. Pet Sematary comes out April 5th. Lewis Creed, his wife Rachel, and their 2 children, Gage and Ellie, move to a rural home where they are welcomed and enlightened about the eerie pet cemetery located near their home. After the tragedy of their cat being killed by a truck, Louise resorts to burying it in the mysterious pet cemetery, which is definitely not as it seems, as it proves to the Creeds that sometimes dead is better. So this is a remake, or, written by Stephen King. This is starring John Lithgow and Jason Clarke. This is curious to me. I have seen the original movie, but I have not read the Stephen King book. I wonder if this will be as creepy as the original, or how exactly they will update it. It's all about the remakes, like Hollywood doesn't have any creativity anymore, but I am curious about this. They did a really good job reimagining, redoing Stephen King's It as like a full movie theater release movie, theatrical movie, but I'm just curious about this. But side note, why is the movie coming out in April? Do the studios not know that horror movies do better in September and October leading up to Halloween? Like, who decided this was coming out in April? Next up, we have The Curse of La Llorona, coming out April 19th. Ignoring the eerie warning of a troubled mother suspected of child endangerment, a social worker and her own small kids are soon drawn into a frightening supernatural realm. I really want to see this one. I love the La Llorona urban legend. It's in Mexican culture. I've covered it in my Bizarre and Unusual World series. I really just want to see how this movie does with it. And of course, I'm a horror movie fan, but I can also be picky with how the scares are done, or if it's too corny, the backstory, all these things. I love horror movies, but I am very picky. I could maybe force some friends to see La Llorona in theater with me, but they usually get pretty freaked out. But I guess we'll just see if I can drag them. But once again, why is this movie coming out in April? Avengers Endgame comes out April 26th. In the aftermath of Thanos wiping out half of the life in the universe, the remaining Avengers must do what's necessary to undo the Mad Titan's deed. There's a shit ton of people in this. I'm not naming all of them. So obviously I'm looking forward to this one. I loved Infinity Wars, and I'm very curious on what we're doing next. Like, can we fix what Thanos did? Can we unsnap the fingers? That would be greatly appreciated. Like, I need some of those characters to unpoof away. Okay? Thanks. I will be seeing this one, and I'm very curious to see just how the storyline goes on and exactly which characters we are fully losing. Because, contracts are running out, people. Then we have Aladdin coming out May 24th. It is a live-action retelling of the 1992 Disney film of the same name, starring Naomi Scott, Mena Massoud, and Will Smith. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. Like I said, Disney is remaking everything, but I haven't seen enough of this to be excited yet. A lot of people are excited for this, but I'm not 100% on the casting. That may change. I will, own up to that if that changes. I always do. But right now, the characters that are casted, it's not how I saw them. I mean, to be honest, I think I've seen some cosplayers that I think might be a better fit, which is sad, but I need to honestly see more trailers, more clips before I fully decide. And I know I will see this one because I love the cartoon and I want to see how it's adapted from animation to real life. So I will see this one. I don't know if I'll see it in theater. Maybe. I did see Beauty and the Beast in theater, so maybe I'll see this in the theater. Secret Life of Pets 2, coming out June 7th. The plot is unknown. Why are we making another one of these? I'm sorry. I saw this one in theater with the munchkins I love. I didn't care for it. I can usually get into the kids' movies and think they're cute or funny. This one, I didn't care for at all. I thought it was kind of stupid. So I will definitely not be seeing this sequel. Dark Phoenix comes out June 7th. Jean Grey begins to develop incredible powers that corrupt and turn her into Dark Phoenix. Now the X-Men will have to decide if the life of a team member is worth more than all people living in the world. So, Jennifer Lawrence, Sophie Turner, James McAvoy, etc., etc. I feel like this is one of those movies that I'm like, why? The last few X-Men movies have not been very good. Like, I haven't liked them. And I don't know what we're doing here. They've changed, like, so many parts to different characters, and it's just... It kind of hurts my brain, like the whole Dark Phoenix thing hurts my brain. I'm just not sure this movie is going to be very good. Like, I will never watch Apocalypse again. I highly doubt I will ever see it because I thought it was that bad. And so I feel like this is just going to follow suit with that. I will probably see it at some point, definitely not in theater, probably on demand or Netflix, but I don't have high hopes for it. Men in Black International comes out June 14th. The Men in Black have always protected Earth from the scum of the universe. In this new adventure, they tackle their biggest threat to date, the Mole and the Men in Black organization. This is starring Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth. So this looks interesting. I do like the Men in Black movies, so I'm interested to see how this like international version will go. To be honest though, all I can think about is Thor, because Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth were both in Thor Ragnarok, so that's all I'm picturing right now when I watch the first trailer, but I will probably see this at some point. Toy Story 4, June 21st. When a new toy called Forky joins Woody and the gang, a road trip alongside old and new friends reveals how big the world can be for a toy. Patricia Arquette, Tom Hanks, Keanu Reeves, Tim Allen, and lots of others. You know, I kind of thought that they concluded Toy Story 3 in a great way. Like, I like how it ended, and so I don't really get why we need another sequel. Like, are we just milking the Disney money at this point? Like, I don't really get it. Like, I just don't get why we have to keep making sequels or remakes. They ended it. The story felt like it was ended. And it's like, oh, oops, just kidding. The toys are doing this now. So because of that, I just doubt I will watch this. The Grudge comes out August 16th. A house is cursed by a vengeful ghost that dooms those who enter it with violent death. Once again, why are we making this movie? I've seen the American versions of these movies, and they're all right. I mean, they're not, like, super amazing. There are definitely creepy parts, but why are we doing it all over again? Like, I doubt I will see this unless it's, like, playing on TV or something. It just doesn't make sense. Like, they made a couple different grunge movies, and then you also have, like, the Japanese versions of these. Why are we starting over? Is it just a continuation of the story? Is it a reboot? Why can't Hollywood be creative? And, you know, this movie is coming out in August, which is kind of close to where I said horror movies should be released. You know, my suggestion of September and October. But I still feel like this movie is going to tank. 47 Meters Down, Uncaged, June 28th. 5 backpackers diving in a ruined underwater city quickly learn they are not alone in the submerged caves. No shit, Sherlock. Nia Long and John Corbett. So, the first one was okay. I don't know why we're making a sequel. Besides the fact that they feel like they need a shark movie to come out in the middle of summer, probably. I mean, I'll watch it on demand or something at some point. It's not on the top of my list. Untitled Annabelle sequel, July 3rd. Third film in the Annabelle franchise. So many Annabelle sequels, and I'm actually a few movies behind. Considering how much I love the Conjuring series, I haven't gotten into the Annabelle movies. I saw the first one, and I didn't really care for it. I did hear that the newest one was much better, but I'm still several movies behind, so this one isn't exactly on top of my list because I'm not caught up. On a side note, I did hear a rumor about the next case for the next Conjuring movie for Ed and Lorraine Warren. I'm hearing it's going to be about Arnie Cheyenne Johnson, which, if you're not familiar, it's basically where he was like the first person in the United States, I believe, to plead not guilty because the devil made me do it. And Ed and Lorraine Warren were called in on his behalf to kind of like investigate and say if he was really possessed and all that stuff. I actually covered part of it in a Bizarre and Unusual World episode about the Warrens, so I am familiar with that case, so should be an interesting movie. Don't know when that's coming out, though. So The Lion King, July 19th, a CGI reimagining of the 1994 Disney classic. Donald Glover, James Earl Jones, Audrey Woodard, Beyonce. I am looking forward to this one, but once again, with the remakes. But I am looking forward to probably Out of like the 3 Disney remakes, we have the Dumbo, Aladdin, and Lion King. I think I'm most looking forward to Lion King. I think it looks really cool, and I kind of just want to see if they change anything. I don't know. This one I'm looking forward to. I'm not sure when exactly I will see it, but I'm very curious to hear everyone's voices in these roles and how everything looks going from cartoon to CGI. The New Mutants, August 2nd. 5 young mutants, just discovering their abilities while held in a secret facility against their will, fight to escape their past sins and save themselves. Antonio Banderas, Anya Taylor-Joy, Maisie Williams. This movie does look very interesting and dark. Superhero-wise, I will probably see this at some point. I'm not 100% sure if this is connecting to any other X-Men movies or not. Artemis Fowl comes out August 9th. Artemis Fowl II, a young Irish criminal mastermind, kidnapped the Fairly Leprechaun officer Hawley Short for ransom to fund the search for his missing father in order to restore the family fortune. I don't know anything about this. All I know is that everyone was reading these books when I was a kid, but I never did. It does seem to be getting a lot of hype right now, but I haven't even watched a trailer for it. I don't know anything about it. It's probably like an on-demand or Netflix one for me. It, Chapter 2, September 6th. 27 years later, the Losers Club have grown up and moved away until a devastating phone call brings them back. Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, Bill Skarsgård, Bill Hader, and so on. I am definitely looking forward to seeing Chapter 2. I enjoyed the first movie, and I want to see the kids grown up. I think they did a fantastic job with the first adaptation from the book or even the TV movie if you want to compare that. And so I'm hoping that the second part does even better. According to multiple sites, Zombieland 2 is coming out in October. There isn't much info about it, but it is claiming to have the original cast. I guess time will tell. I do love the first movie, so a sequel could be cool. I know, I said no more sequels, but maybe if the plot's good, it's better than a remake. And of course, if the same cast comes back. But like I said, not much information out. Joker, October 4th. A failed stand-up comedian is driven insane and becomes a psychopathic murderer. Joaquin Phoenix, Robert De Niro. This movie confuses me because it's technically a DC movie, but it's not in the DC movie verse we have now. It's just a standalone random Joker movie, and I don't know what to think of this. I haven't seen enough trailers for it or anything to know what the hell it is. I'm just kind of confused by it. I don't know why Warner Brothers and DC can't get their shit together. The Addams Family, October 11th. An animated version of Charles Addams' series of cartoons about a peculiar ghoulish family. Chloe Grace Moretz, Charlize Theron, Oscar Isaac. This could be a cute little animated movie, I think. I do love the Addams Family, so it could be cute. Maybe a good one to take the munchkins to see. Charlie's Angels is coming out November 1st, apparently. The plot is unknown, but apparently it's maybe a reboot of the 2000 action comedy based on the 1970s TV series. Elizabeth Banks is writing, directing, and starring in it, and I hear it's starring Naomi Scott and Kristen Stewart. So I thought that this was actually going to be a TV show, but here I am reading about it, and it's saying it's a movie. So what do I know? It's yet again another remake or reboot, whatever. I'm curious to see the trailer for this, but at the same time, I don't feel like it's been long enough since the Charlie's Angels movies with Lucy Liu and Cameron Diaz and Drew Barrymore came out to reboot it again. But I guess with that storyline, the Charlie's Angels, there can be different angels as the years go by because of the business they're in. But I don't know. I need to see some footage of it before I make an executive decision. Untitled Terminator Project is set to be released around November 1st. The plot is unknown at this point, but we do have Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton back, which I'm super excited for, and I believe that James Cameron is producing it. I do want to know more about this project. When does it take place? What timeline are these things? I need to know more about it. I love that Linda Hamilton is back, and of course Arnold, so I just need to know more information. And I will, of course, be seeing it. Margie Claus comes out November 15th, starring Melissa McCarthy. This is a Christmas movie. Just a random Christmas movie that my mom will probably really love, but not much information except I believe that Melissa is playing Mrs. Claus, looking for Santa or something like that. A couple different sites said that. Might be a good Christmas one. Frozen 2 comes out November 27th. The plot is unknown, but people are freaking out over this. I'm assuming that the voice actors will return for it. This will be super popular with the kids, of course, and we'll have to see how the sequel does compared to the first one, because the first one was so big and it was just like so popular. I'm curious if they will succeed in making the sequel just as good, or if they'll kind of fall short. And honestly, if they can make a hit out of a song like they did last time, like, will they be able to create another Let It Go? Jumanji 2, December 13th. This is a why movie for me. Why is it needed? So, I see this new Jumanji, and being a fan of the original, I didn't feel like it was the same world. This new one was like an okay action fun movie, but I didn't feel like it was Jumanji. It could have been like its own thing, and I never would have known that it was connected to Jumanji. Maybe that's just me, but so the fact that they're making like another one within this little world, I doubt I'll see it. And then we have Star Wars coming out December 20th. The conclusion of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Daisy Ridley, Oscar Isaac, Adam Driver, John Boyega, Mark Hamill, apparently Carrie Fisher. The list goes on and on. So, obviously I'm looking forward to this. I am nervous though. At this point, we don't know much about the plot or a name or anything. People are assuming that Mark Hamill will come back as a Force ghost. It has been confirmed that they will use Force Awakens unused footage of Carrie to help conclude Leia's story. That makes me nervous, but whatever. I don't know what that means. Like, I'm scared to death that they're going to like screw over my favorite character, and it'll just make me really sad and depressed if that's how it has to end. Like, you also have to consider that they've had to obviously rework this entire script, the entire like idea of the movie, because everyone said that this one was supposed to be based like so much around Leia. Force Awakens was Han's movie, Last Jedi was Luke's movie, and this was supposed to be Leia's movie. Without Carrie, they've had to rework so many different things, and that makes me very nervous that this movie will not be good, or that I will not be pleased with it. But nevertheless, I will be seeing this in theaters. Don't want to hear no spoilers. I will see it. Time will tell if I approve or if I get mad at how everything ends. So those are just some popular movies that are coming out this year. I am sure there are many others, but those are just the main ones that came up when I started making this outline. Is there any movies that you guys want to see this year that maybe I didn't mention? Or any movies that I did mention that you guys are for sure going to see? Thanks so much for listening to this podcast, guys. Happy 2019. And I will catch you in the next Chit Chat with Cass.